The 404 also said they found at least one instance where a bounty of a private person was made. Now, that posting didn't include the person's name, just a handful of images taken from her social media accounts. With the person who made the listing saying that he was seeking an AI of his wife, but a lot of people also didn't buy that, right, since the woman in question appeared to have a Facebook that said she was single, and the images in the bounty were low-quality social media screenshots. And while, yeah, people expressed concerns about that bounty, it was completed. And so you have people concerned about what this means for bounties of real people, since Civit AI and platforms like it can be used for sexual AI models. So you also have places like Engadget noting that Civit AI has said that the bounty should not be used for non-consensual sexual images of real people. The outlet also noting that it's still not remotely hard to achieve that anyways. But then in addition to that, we had AI news around film and Hollywood, right? And that for a number of reasons, including there's an AI biopic in the works. It'll reportedly be about the French singer Edith Piaf, who died 60 years ago, and the AI will be used to recreate her voice and image. It's being made by Warner Music Group in partnership with her estate, and the AI voice will be used to narrate the story. And so with that, you have people pissed about it, wondering, why did we even strike if stuff like this is going to be allowed? And this also is we're seeing actors, including Justine Bateman, saying, we shouldn't agree to this SAG deal, and saying SAG leadership and committee did not take my guidance on the AI issues. And arguing, I've said from the beginning that the use of generative AI will collapse the structure of this business. I want the actors and crew to have enough self-respect to turn over a table and flip the CEOs off as it happens. They're going to leave you with nothing left to lose. As well as then taking to MSNBC and saying that the only reason union members should sign this is if they never want to work again. With one major point of concern being the use of synthetic performers, which are essentially fully AI versions of humans performing in film roles. With the rap explaining that SAG-AFTRA negotiated a clause requiring a studio to give them notice and the chance to bargain in good faith if a synthetic performer is used in place of a performer, but was not able to secure the right to veto such use of performers. And on top of that, actors only get to consent to this use and get compensation if the synthetic performer includes one of their distinctive facial features. And so because of this, you're seeing things like one actor posting a video on TikTok saying union members should not ratify the contract and explaining,
none of the wins that we got matter because generative AI is going to take a majority of the job.
Justine Bateman also sounding off on this aspect, writing, I find it baffling that a union representing human actors would give approval of those same actors being replaced by an AI object. And don't forget, those AI objects are a mashup of all actors' past performances, adding insult to injury. Meanwhile, in other AI news, you have YouTube trying to put in new limitations and guardrails, with them now requiring creators to disclose and label AI use when they've made altered or synthetic content that is realistic, as well as giving people the ability to request takedowns of AI-generated content made to simulate an identifiable individual, though not all requests will be granted. Also, we're seeing YouTube take action around the big rise of AI music, with them allowing its music partners to request the removal of AI-generated songs that mimic an artist's voice. And that, of course, coming as it's become a massive trend on the platform, with us seeing things like last week, Bad Bunny slamming an AI song mimicking his voice that went viral across a ton of different social media platforms, calling the song shitty, condemning fans who liked it. But then also, because everything AI is now so accessible to pretty much everyone, it's becoming so common everywhere. With, for example, I know a lot of people running into this video this week, right? It includes the video where I'm covering a Mr. Beast controversy story, and then it's all AI. Now, that's obviously not me, as hopefully many of you can tell. Well, I'm not too concerned about people that watch me knowing if that's me or not. Where it is concerning are people that aren't familiar with me coming across this video because it's got like hundreds of thousands of views. And of course, as I like to remind people every time we talk about this, this is the worst the technology will ever be. The tech is only going to get better and the situations are only going to get crazier from here. So I commend places that are trying to put in these guardrails. They're trying to put in these tools, but I don't really know if there's anything that can stop what this is about to become. And then, is this exactly what people should be doing, or is it a road too far? That is one of the big debates playing out right now over the growing trend of lawmakers being confronted for not supporting a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war. Right, and this is in recent weeks, multiple interactions that follow this general script have gone viral on social media. And this including most recently a video of Senator Chris Coons that has more than 12 million views on X as of recording. And in that clip, which was posted yesterday, the lawmaker is seen riding an Amtrak and being questioned by a person who identifies himself as a journalist and who repeatedly ignored the senator's request to be left alone.
Senator, I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but when I call for a ceasefire in Gaza, I'm a journalist, my name's Aaron Mate. When I call for a ceasefire in Gaza, you have 4,600 children killed.
This is
46. I know it's a quiet car, and I apologize for abuse, but I understand, but children are dying. Children are dying, sir. I'm asking you to explain when I call for a ceasefire.
You're bothering me and everyone else around us. Sir, could I please have some help here?
Kids are being killed with our weapons.
Stop. I'm asking you to stop.
Why not stop?
This is
when
not
I call for
an appropriate
stopping
place for you to interview me. You're bothering everybody else around us.
It's a crisis
How
right now.
did you get this seat?
Also, last week we saw this interaction between an activist and Senator Mitt Romney in the halls of the Senate.
Hamas went into a country and brutally murdered people,
Israel
cut their throats.
is carpet bombing.
You want to talk or am I to talk?
I'm going to talk.
Okay, well, I'm not going to listen.
Senator, you are in the committee.
And then, of course, there's also been involvement from different groups of protesters, all of whom called for a ceasefire. Right? We've seen hundreds of anti-Zionist Jewish activists getting arrested for staging a sit-in at Congress. You had other demonstrators disrupting a Senate hearing. A veterans group was arrested outside Senator Kirsten Gillibrand's office in the Capitol. And a speech by Senator Cory Booker was interrupted by a crowd of protesters.
Where people want to make sure that we have. This is what makes America great. The power to protest.
But then also, one of these confrontations that's gone really viral, getting nearly 15 million views on X as of recording, is this one where Senator Elizabeth Warren is approached by a woman while the senator was eating dinner in Cambridge. With that clip reportedly posted by the Boston faction of the anti-Zionist group Jewish Voice for Peace, which said on X that it had mobilized with Harvard students and others in Cambridge to disrupt Senator Warren at dinner. And in the footage, we see the woman going up to the senator saying she is a constituent of hers and a refugee from Gaza. Warren then responds that she's having dinner, and the woman continues anyway, saying that 68 members of her family have been killed over the last 3 weeks and asking how many more will have to die before she calls a ceasefire.
I mean, what do I have to do? How many more of my family to die for you to call for a ceasefire? I don't know, like, how much more do I have to say for you to call for a ceasefire? People in your office every day asking to call for a ceasefire, and you are refusing to call for a ceasefire.
Right, and so with all this, we've seen a lot of people online divided over these approaches. You have some applauding these moves, saying that people should keep doing this, making politicians uncomfortable and getting in their faces. Right, many arguing that these politicians are supposed to represent and serve the public, but they are failing to do so, and so they must be held accountable. Some also calling for more politicians to be hounded down, while others took aim at the politicians we have seen getting confronted. And this including the likes of massive online creators like Mia Khalifa, who of course has posted a lot about everything that's been going down, and her tweeting specifically about the video with Warren in writing. This privileged crow really said, "I'm having dinner," in response to 68 members of my family died. Evil, putrid, deplorable. I hope she never has a peaceful meal or bowel movement in her life again. But then on the other side, we also saw people pushing back against this, with one user who responded to Mia's post writing, "I could have walked in there and claimed I lost 100 family members. She's under no obligation to talk to a stranger who could be a liar or a psychopath. Respect civility and common decency, you sick fucks." Others also echoing that, arguing that confronting lawmakers like this isn't the best approach. With, for example, one person writing, "I'm questioning the efficacy of the tactic. Unlikely to accomplish anything serious and instead galvanize your opposition. You can't think you can intimidate senators and sway their stance by doing this, can you? Ineffective." But ultimately, that is a story, the differing views that are being shared, and so I want to pass the question off to you. Where do you land on this? And then we gotta talk about my boy Wile E. Coyote, the OG grinder and hustler with no quit, the man who said you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And that's because, as some of you learned over the last 2 weeks, he actually had a movie coming out, Coyote versus Acme. And it was this comedy film that was a hybrid of live action and animation starring John Cena. And last week, the studio announced, hey, we're actually shelving the movie. But also the big thing there is despite the fact that it was already completed, with reports saying that Warner Bros. Just made a decision to land an estimated $30 million tax write-off. And with that saying it was a part of a shift in global release strategy. And so understandably, the creatives involved in this film were blindsided by the choice and they were pissed off. Or if you're not a part of the industry or you don't know people in the industry, to get a movie made, it's fucking insane. And so to go through the whole process and make an actual movie only for Warner Bros. To be like, JK. I mean, I can't even imagine what that would make me feel. I mean, I lose a game of fantasy football and my whole week's screwed. So this, I mean, I'd have a breakdown. But a big thing now is it appears that amid this mounting backlash that we've seen online, Warner Bros. Is changing its mind, with the studio actually now allowing the director to shop the film to other buyers. And as far as why there was a change of heart, according to The Hollywood Reporter, it was because people in the industry were apparently fuming over this. And several filmmakers actually instructed their representatives to cancel upcoming meetings with Warner Bros. Over it. Because, you know, people look at their decisions to just cancel finished films and think, well, I'm not going to fucking work with those people. Or because also one of the big things is this is not an outlier. They have done this for multiple projects. And the key thing being multiple finished projects for a little tax write-off. And so hopefully we get to see this movie because according to a number of people who said they saw it, it's actually been testing well. And then before we go any further, let's talk about something very important to me, and that's your health. You know, chances are you've woken up with a sore throat, a rash, or other symptom, and immediately head over to see what TikTok or Google says. And before you know it, you're convinced you're dying. But here's the thing, the internet is filled with too much misinformation, so why not talk to someone that's actually qualified? And well, thanks to the sponsor of today's show, ZocDoc, you can. You just start by downloading the free app millions of others are using to find and book amazing doctors online who are right for you and take your insurance. We're talking about booking appointments with thousands of top-rated, patient-reviewed doctors and specialists. You can filter specifically for ones who take your insurance, are located near you, and treat almost any condition you're searching for. Plus, the average wait time to see a doctor booked on ZocDoc is between 24 to 72 hours, sometimes scoring same-day appointments with doctors who have verified reviews from actual real patients, not bots. The app is also really easy to use, and it's not just about finding your general practitioner. You can find specialists too, dermatologists, dentists, psychiatrists, eye doctors, I can go on. It really is convenient. So just go to ZocDoc.com/Phil and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/Phil. ZocDoc.com/Phil. And then, how on earth could a giant vacuum big enough to suck up an entire river make good on a promise that's been broken over and over for a century and a half? That is the question critics of the US military are raising after a proposal to save an endangered fish made everyone's heads explode. We are absolutely going to talk about what the hell that idea is, but first, we got to talk about the broken promise. With that involving who else but the Native Americans? Because in the 1850s, as they were being pushed off of their land, Pacific Northwest tribes